तारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि श्री गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जगद्गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की। हरे कृष्णा। पुनः एक बार
Hare Krishna. So once more, under the shelter of the holy names of the Lord, and while chanting the holy names of the Lord, or after chanting the holy names of the Lord, we are going to get a very beautiful opportunity to listen to the pastimes of Srimad Bhagavatam. So previously, in the last Katha, we all have heard what is the greatest principle of religiosity, and that is sadhana, that is practicing of devotional service. So that is the first and foremost, topmost goal or responsibility of any living entity or human. So in humans who are not completely pure and who want to purify themselves, want to be lovers of the Lord, or beloved of the Lord, so such people, prime responsibility is to practice devotional service, that is sadhana bhakti. So it is of two types, vidhi sadhana bhakti and raga anuga bhakti. So we all are following the regulatory principles. So we are in vidhi sadhana bhakti, and usually we all are trying to perform or practice devotional service. So I have also mentioned that the sadhana or practicing of devotional service can be of many types. So for every person, the measure or the limbs could be different. Under the disciplic succession of Ramanujacharya, the practicing of devotional service is different. But in Sri or Kumara Sampradaya, it's totally different. In Rudra Sampradaya, it's something else. So in essence, or in totality, to reach the ultimate destination, we need an instrument, and that instrument is called sadhana, or the limb of devotional service or practice of devotional service. So if the goal is to achieve the love towards Supreme Personality of Godhead, then to attain that love, we need to perform or practice unalloyed devotional service towards the Lord. Sometimes people perform or practice devotional service as seva. So in Sri Sampradaya, under Vallabhacharya, he provides a service. So to give love and affection to Laddu Gopal and to serve him. That is the direction that is given by Sri Vallabhacharya to his disciples by taking care of Laddu Gopal. So, and we try to offend them because their performing of devotional service is different than us. So, for Sri Sampradaya, they need not to do anything. That is only the complete surrender by our heart and soul to get fully surrendered is their practice of devotional service or sadhana. So, in some other, they have a relationship of fraternal relationship, and therefore they have different limbs or types of devotional service. So once Yamraj ji was asked, so whose son or by whom we meet and then we came back here. So straight away Yamraj ji's associates asked that in this world there are different disciplic succession and they have different opinions and types of practicing of devotional service. So according to your perspective, which is the best practice of devotional service or unallied service towards the Lord? So the sadhana or practice of devotional service is provided by a spiritual master, and whatever instruction he gives, that is our practice of devotional service or sadhana. So some are provided to some service or others are given an opportunity to serve the deities, etc. So Yamraj ji was asked, which is the biggest or greatest of them all? He said, all of them are great. So they said that, can you please specify that after death, if we don't want to see your face, then what practice of devotional service shall be performed? So if you don't want to have an audience with Yamraj, then and the presiding deity of Yamraj ji, that is the brother-in-law of Yamraj ji. Yamraj ji's sister is Yamuna and her husband is Lord Sri Krishna. So he is brother-in-law. So Yamraj ji's associates said that according to your perspective, which is the greatest practice of devotional service? And the goal is that we need not to have your audience, and after death, we have an audience with your brother-in-law, that is Lord Shri Krishna. So please share such kind of unallied devotional service. So then Yamraj ji from Srimad Bhagavatam 6th canto, 3rd chapter and 22 verse. Let me present the verse in front of you. These are the words of Yamraj ji, and it is the answer of which is the best devotional service, that we need not to have an audience with Yamraj ji, and after death we attain the love towards Supreme Personality of Godhead and his audience. Then Yamraj ji replies,
पुंसां धर्म परस्मृतः एतावानेव लोकेऽस्मिन् पुंसां धर्म परस्मृतः भक्ति योगो भगवती भक्ति योगो भगवती तत्नाम ग्रहणादिभिः तत्नाम ग्रहणादिभिः। यमराज के दूतों ने यमराज जी को प्रश्न पूछा।
So when Yamraji was asked the question by his associate that there are so many types or limbs of devotional service and they all can be used to in the Lord and they all have their respective fruits, but with kind of devotional service, if we perform, then we need not to have an audience with you or Yamraji, and instead we will have an audience with Lord Shri Krishna. Then Yamraji replies, so the second word should be read first, that is lokesmin, that in this world or in this material world, he says that we need not to do much, that is, we just need to do this much. So he's already mentally preparing us that we need not to do many great things or uphill tasks. And even a human cannot do great uphill tasks. So he says that only, so the interpretation of Eta Van Nave is just. So in this material world or earth, Unsanam, that is for humans, that Paradharma, that is the utmost principle of religiosity, which is mentioned in the Vedic scriptures by the Lord Himself. And what has He said? To escape hellish planets and to attain the love towards Supreme Personality of Godhead, the first and foremost thing is Bhakti Yogo Bhagavati. That is, we should perform unalloyed devotional service towards the Lord. In Bhagavad Gita, Yoga Yogeshwar, Lord Shri Krishna discusses about Jnana Yoga, Karma Yoga, and everything, but ultimately he concluded with Bhakti Yoga. So, the easiest and beautiful path is the path of devotional service. That is also considered to be Prema Yoga. So the question still remains that in devotional service also there are so many limbs and instruments of devotional service. So please specify of all these instruments or limbs of devotional service. If we don't want to see you and we want to attain the love towards the Lord and have His audience, then the best or topmost would be. Then Yamraji replies, and he says, Tat naam grehnaadibhi. Tat matlab Krishna's name, that is to chant his holy names, is the best of all devotional services or the best in bhakti yoga. So there are so many types and other disciplic successions or cults, it is different. So we should respect them all. But we have the pride in ourselves that we get up early in the morning and we sit together and chant the holy names of the Lord. In Bhagavatam, Lord Yamraj himself has told about the same or discussed the same. So in this verse, if you see, gradually it is specified, and then he says or concludes by Tat Naam Grihan, that is to chant the holy names of the Lord. So fundamentally, 99% we have to take the holy names of the Lord, and Adipi means etc. etc. So other limbs of bhakti are covered in that, but the fundamental is Tat Nam Grihnadibhi, that is to chant the holy names of the Lord. And we have been extremely fortunate that of all the religions and by spiritual masters, we get different services. But in our disciplic succession or cult, the shelter of Srila Prabhupada, so this is the disciplic succession of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that is Brahma Madhya Gauriya Dhara. So our spiritual masters have given us the service to chant the holy names of the Lord, and we chant the holy names of the Lord, and the glories are sung itself in Srimad Bhagavatam, and Sri Yamraj himself reveals this in Srimad Bhagavatam. So the best practice of devotional service is what we do early morning, especially the devotees of India, because for others it's evening or night, but they all come together. Even I, and I'm going to take names, and some chant with so much love and affection, because in India they will be worried about the data, etc. as well. But still, you have unshaken faith and you join with this session of holy names of the Church, and you you give me also enthusiasm and zeal. So I'm really grateful to all of you. And in this Katha, we will listen to the glories of the holy names of the Lord. And along with that, as you have seen, the definition of devotional service, so in Srimad Bhagavatam, this pastime is not discussed much in detail, and so it is quite secretive and concealed. But in Mahabharata, etc., so many types of Gita are described, and the most famous is Bhagavad Gita, which Krishna spoke to Arjuna. But beyond, apart from that, there are so many other Gitas as well. So let me share one dozen names. So first is Shiv Gita. After marriage, Parvati ji asked question to Lord Shiva, and according to her inquisitiveness, he answered or responded, and it became a part of or known as Shiv Gita. So I'm not giving you exact numbers, but I'm just giving you the 12, so, although there are so many others as well. So this is, so usually Krishna has spoken Gita to Arjuna, but whatever was left over, and after the war, when they became victorious and Yudhishthir Maharaj became the king of Hastinapur, after that, while sitting in Hastinapur, he gave knowledge to Arjuna, and that is considered or addressed as Anu Gita. So the Kurukshetra one was Bhagavad Gita, and in Hastinapur it is Anu Gita. The first is Shiv Gita, second is Anu Gita, and the third is Yaksha Gita. As you all are aware, during the exile, the Pandavas went to get or drink some water, and they lost their consciousness or fainted, and Yaksha asked 100 questions to Yudhishthira, and Yudhishthira Maharaj responded to the same.
बहुत सुंदर उत्तर दिया।
And beautifully he responded and replied, and whatever answers he gave, that is addressed as Yaksha Gita. So in this Yaksha Gita, as you all might be aware,
ये महाभारत में वन पर्व की बात है।
this is a time of one parva or exile of Yudhishthir or Pandavas.
12वें अध्याय से लेकर
So from 312th chapter till 313th chapter, this Yaksha Gita is described in Mahabharata. So in this, almost Yaksha asked 124 questions to be precise, and they were asked in so much speed. Yaksha was asking and Yudhishthira Maharaj was responding quickly according about the subject matter was about the living entity, the material universe, Lord, philosophy, religion, principles of religiosity, women. So on all these topics, Yakshaji asked questions and Yudhishthirji responded. So that is Yaksha Gita.
आपको गिनना है। मेरे पास गणतरी नहीं है, गणतरी होती तो फिर आपकी तरह बिजनेसमैन नहीं होता। सो शिव गीता,
So Shiv Gita, Anu Gita, Yaksha Gita, and Bhagavad Gita we already know.
गीता है
So
विदुर
another Gita is Vidur Gita.
विदुर गीता। वैसे जब युद्ध हुआ तब तो विदुर जी थे नहीं।
So when the war was fought, Vidurji was not there as he has gone to visit all the holy places or he went on a pilgrimage.
की मृत्यु हो गई।
And when he came back, the Kauravas were no more.
धृतराष्ट्र और गंधारी
And still Dhritarashtra and
पल रहे थे।
Gandhari were still dependent on Yudhishthir and Pandavas.
विदुर ने
But one day, Mahatma Vidur
उपदेश दिया, जबरदस्त उपदेश
preached
और उस एक रात को
or given counsel to Dhritarashtra and Gandhari. And by that, they both attained detachment. And in the midst of night, they left everything.
बिल्कुल वैराग्य प्रकट कराने वाली ये है
So,
जिसे विदुर
the Gita which
ठीक है।
gives us detachment is Vidur Gita. Then another Gita is Bhishma Gita.
पितामह भीष्म ने जो युधिष्ठिर को ज्ञान दिया,
The knowledge that was given by Bhishma Pitama to Yudhishthir when he talked about all types of principles of religiosity. So that is Bhishma Gita.
और एक गीता है गुरु
Then there is another that is Guru Gita.
गुरु गीता। ये महाभारत के रचयिता वेदव्यास जी के द्वारा
So
लिखी
the
गई है और ये
compiler of the Vedas, that is Sri Vedvyas Ji, it is mentioned in Skanda Purana, and in this
पार्वती जी को शिव जी गुरु का अर्थ और गुरु
Shivji
तत्व बताते हैं।
tells the definition and importance of a spiritual master to Parvati Ji. And specifically, it is in Skanda Purana, the glories of the spiritual master are revealed. That is why it is
फिर और एक गीता
called or addressed as Guru Gita.
गीता
Then there is another Gita that
ये
is
मार्कंडेय
Yatha
ऋषि ने
Gita.
युधिष्ठिर
So
महाराज को सुनाई थी।
this Gita was spoken
में है ये भी
to Yudhishthir Maharaj and Pandavas, and it is also a part of
धर्मराज युधिष्ठिर को सुनाई।
Mahabharata, which was spoken by none other than Markandeya Rishi. Then there is a Ganesha Gita as well. So this Gita is mentioned in Ganesh Puran. So there is a part which is addressed as Krida Khand,
खंड में ये गीता है।
and in that,
जी गजानन रूप में वरेण्य नामक राजा को
so Ganeshi in the form of Aranya he gives instruction to the king. Then there is one another Gita
के पिता
that is the father of Sita Ji, that is Shiradhwaj, the king of Mithila, spiritual master
को ज्ञान दिया तो वो हो
who
गया
gave this
वक्र
knowledge
गीता।
to Janak ji, and that is why it is addressed as
शब्द है यहाँ पे
Ashtavakra Gita, because the name of a spiritual master was Ashtavikra, and this is quite popular
और एक हुई राम गीता।
type of Gita. Then there is one another that is Rama
राम गीता
Gita.
भी दो है।
So these also
एक तो
is of two types.
वनवास
First,
के दौरान एक दिन लक्ष्मण
during
जी
the
दिstress
exile,
है
when Lakshman ji was
और श्री
distressed
राम जी ने लक्ष्मण जी
and
को जो
sad,
उपदेश दिया
the counsel
राम
that was
गीता के
given by
रूप में
Lord Sri Ram
प्रस्तुत किया।
was presented as Rama Gita,
रावण
and
का वध करके जब
after
अयोध्या का
killing
राजा बने
Ravana and he became the
और फिर
king
राजा बने
of
तो
Ayodhya, and
अयोध्यावासियों को जो
after that,
उपदेश दिया
the
ज्ञान दिया उसे भी
counsel
राम गीता
that he
कहते हैं।
gave to the denizens of Ayodhya, that is also referred to
गीता
as Rama Gita.
अवधूत
So in
गीता
Srimad Bhagavatam, there is another Gita that
अवधूत
is
गीता
Avadhut
भगवान
Gita.
दत्तात्रेय ने
Lord
यदु महाराज
Dattatreya
को सुनाई।
has spoken this
जो भी
to Yadu
जितने भी
Maharaj,
डजन और वो सब
where he describes the 24 types of spiritual masters.
कितनी हुई डजन तो हो गई ना।
So
जरा
we have
सोचो
already concluded like 12, 13
अब
now.
हम लोग जिस गीता की चर्चा करने
So
वाले हैं इस
the
कथा
Gita
के
that we are
दौरान
going to discuss during
वो
this
उद्धव
katha
गीता है।
is Uddhav Gita.
श्री उद्धव गीता की जय। आप सब देखते हैं गोविंद टीवी ने सेट
As you all might be aware that
उद्धव जी बैठे हैं कुर्बानी
Govind TV
बैठे
has
हैं
made this backdrop where on one
और
hand
उद्धव
side
गीता भगवान
Krishna
श्री
is
कृष्ण
there
ने
and on the other end
उद्धव
is
गीता
Uddhav
में
ji.
बहुत सुंदर ज्ञान दिया।
So Krishna gave beautiful
लगभग
knowledge to Uddhav ji,
सैकड़ों श्लोक में भगवान श्री
and
कृष्ण ने
in
उद्धव को
thousands
बताया।
of verses he has
श्रीमद्
given
भागवत
this
को छोड़कर अन्य
secretive
पुराणों की
knowledge.
बातें करें
And
तो
if we speak about
1000 से भी अधिक
other
श्लोक
Puranas
भगवान श्री
than
कृष्ण ने
Srimad
उद्धव
Bhagavatam,
जी को
then
सुनाया।
almost there are more than 1,000 words that were
और इस
spoken by
उद्धव
Lord Shri
गीता
Krishna
को
to Uddhav ji.
दूसरे
And
शब्दों
this
में
Uddhav Gita, in
हंस
other
गीता भी
words,
कहते हैं।
is also addressed as Hansa
के नाम
Gita.
से भी प्रसिद्ध है। क्यों है कैसे है
And
आने वाले
why
दिनों में हम सब
and how
श्रवण
we are
करेंगे।
going to listen to this
राधे कृष्ण
also.
प्रभु की जय। सो हम लोग इस कथा के दौरान
So
उद्धव
during this
गीता
katha,
का श्रवण करेंगे। आइए
we
हम
listen
श्री
to
कृष्ण
Uddhav
और
Gita,
उद्धव जी के पास पहुंचे और
and
कृष्ण और
before
उद्धव का
we
ये दिव्य
reach
संवाद
Uddhav ji
सुनकर
and
इसके
listen to the
बाद में एक
divine
घड़ी दो घड़ी भगवान श्री
conversation
कृष्ण
between
क्या
them,
करते हैं
before that, let's
संकीर्तन
perform
के माध्यम से अपने आप को
congregational chanting
रसमय प्रेममय
and
बनाकर भागवत कथा की ओर
let's
प्रेरित
proceed to the Bhagavatam Katha.
करें। राधे मेरी ओर जय गोपी चित चोर प्रभु जय जय माखन चोर जय जय माखन चोर। श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की जगत गुरु शिल प्रभुपाद की। उपस्थित
Hare Krishna. I welcome all the loving devotees of Srimad Bhagavatam, all the devotees attendees,
इस सभा को परम
the
सुशोभित करने वाले
senior Vaishnavas who have decorated this assembly
श्रवण भागवत
beautifully,
कथा के परम प्रेमी
the
वरिष्ठ
loving senior devotees,
दूर दूर से
and from all the parts of the
देश विदेश
world
से गोविंद टीवी
through the medium of Govind TV.
Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram 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 Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram Ram Hare.
इस कथा का आयोजन करने वाले
So, the organizers of this beautiful katha, the whole Patel family,
पटेल परिवार के पूर्वजों का स्मरण
and
करें,
if we remember their ancestors, then
पटेल,
Sri Nandubhai Patel,
मधुबेन पटेल
Madhuben Patel,
और
and
अभी अभी जिनका देहांत हुआ
the one who we just lost,
अनिलाबेन पटेल,
Anilaben Patel.
हम विशेष
And
धन्यवाद
in
देंगे
particular, I want to thank
कृपा की याचना करेंगे
and seek the blessings
राज ऋषि
of
प्रभु
Sri Raj Rishi
परम
Prabhu,
पूज्य कीर्तनंद स्वामी महाराज
who is the disciple of His Holiness Kirtanan Swami Maharaj,
हमारे इस्कॉन में
and he
इनका बहुत
is
बड़ा योगदान है
contributed to ISKCON organization
गौशाला
uh,
और भी
in
अनेक
Ahmedabad ISKCON and in Goshala and in many other places,
यशोमती नंदन प्रभु और अनेक
Yashomati Nandan Prabhu and other,
गुरु महाराज के साथ
along with
सेवा
other celibate sadhus, he has served,
साथ ही साथ
and along
उनके
with that,
सुपुत्र मैत्रेय
their son
और
Maitre
उनकी बहू जानकी
and their daughter-in-law
उनकी
Janaki,
सुपुत्री
their daughter
शेफाली माता
Shefali Mata, Asit Bhai,
और इस परिवार के समस्त बाल
and
बाल
all the
आप
children
सर्वभक्तों
of
का
this family. So
श्रीमद्
I
भागवत कथा के
welcome you
प्रथम दिवस
all
में
on the first day of the Srimad Bhagavatam Katha, once more, I welcome you all and please accept our humble obeisances at your lotus feet. Radhe Shyam.
जैसे कि आप सब जानते हैं,
As you all are
कि हर
aware
कथा में
that in all the Katha,
नए विचारों को लेकर,
we try to present a new
सब्जेक्ट को
thought
लेकर
or a
हम सब
particular
श्रीमद्
subject,
भागवत कथा और भगवान की महिमा
and we listen to the pastimes and glories of the
इस
Lord.
बार
So this time,
बहुत रेयरली, बहुत
very rarely,
सुनने और सुनाने वाला विषय है
the pastime which
भागवत
is
से
hardly discussed
उद्धव
from
गीता,
Srimad Bhagavatam, that is Uddhav
और
Gita.
उद्धव गीता में भी
And in that
उद्धव
Uddhav
जी
Gita
की
also,
छोटी थोड़ी ना है,
because it's not a small subject
ये
matter, as you
विशाल
have heard
श्लोक है।
that there are more than
तो इतनी
1,000
बड़ी
verses.
कथा को उद्धव गीता कहूं
So if
तो
I
गलत होगा।
address it as Uddhav
सो
Gita, then
परंतु
it will
इस
be
तरह
misleading or wrong.
एक सब्जेक्ट को
So
लेकर हम सब
under the
आने वाले दिनों में
one subject
श्रीमद् भागवत
from
कथा
Uddhav Gita, we are going to listen to the pastimes of
भागवत
the
में
Lord.
अनेक प्रसंग विषय
So there are many
घटनाएं
pastimes and subjects in Bhagavatam that
कथा का
we're going to
मूल विषय
discuss,
होगा
but the fundamental subject or the principal subject will be
भक्ति की
under the heading
विशेषताएं।
of Uddhav Gita, the definition of devotional
अनादि
service
काल का
or another devotional
इतिहास
service.
है।
So the
आप सब
introduction would
जानते
be
हैं
like this, that as you might
कि भगवान
all
श्री
are aware
कृष्ण
that Lord Shri Krishna
पहले तो जन्म उनका मथुरा में हुआ
was born in Mathura,
और फिर जन्म के दिन ही
and on
मथुरा को
his
छोड़कर ब्रज वृंदावन चले गए।
birthday he
लगभग
went to
17
Braj
वर्ष
Vrindavan,
तक
and for
कृष्ण
almost
वृंदावन
11
में
and a
रहे
half years he
और
resided
फिर
in Vrindavan,
अपने
and
माता
after
पिता को
that
कंस के पास से मुक्त कराने के
he
लिए
liberated his
वृंदावन
parents
छोड़कर
from
मथुरा चले
Kansa
गए।
and his imprisonment.
अपने माता पिता देवकी वसुदेव जी के साथ
So
कृष्ण
he
और
stayed
बलराम
with
जी
Devaki and
मथुरा
Vasudev
में
and
रहे
Balram ji in
और
Mathura,
मथुरा में रहकर उन्होंने
and while
जरासंध
residing
के
there
साथ युद्ध
he
करते हुए
fought with
दैत्यों का
Jarasan
बहुत बड़ा भार दूर कर
and
दिया
almost killed many
अत्यंत
demons,
दुष्ट प्रकृति के
removed
लोगों का
evil
विध्वंस किया
doers.
और फिर मथुरा में रहकर ही उन्होंने
And then residing in
शिक्षा
Mathura,
प्राप्त की
he got his
और
education,
ब्राह्मणों की
etc.
रक्षा
as well.
करने के लिए
And to protect the
ब्राह्मणों की बात
Brahmanas
को सत्य रखने के लिए
and to protect their
जरासंध
word,
के साथ 18वीं बार
he,
युद्ध करते हुए कृष्ण
while fighting for the
ब्रज
18th time with Jarasan, he
जब
left
गए
the
प्रवर्षण पर्वत पर
warfront and he
चढ़कर
was addressed as Ranchor Rai,
वहां से कूदे और
and
सीधे
he climbed the
समुद्र में
mountain, and from there he jumped to the ocean,
विश्वकर्मा के द्वारा
and
बहुत
by
सुंदर
Vishwakarma
द्वारिका का
a
निर्माण हुआ।
beautiful Dwarika Nagari was
कृष्ण और
created.
बलराम द्वारिका में रहने लगे
So
और
Krishna
बाकी
and
रहने
Balram
वाले
started
सबको
residing in
द्वारिका
Dwarika,
में
and
शिफ्ट कर दिया।
all who resided in Mathura were shifted
जब
there
राजा
in
दो
Dwarika.
पांव पर खड़ा हुआ, घर
So
बार
when
सब
person
कुछ
was
पूरा हुआ,
established, and then
उन्होंने प्रथम विवाह
he
देवी रुक्मणी के
married
साथ किया।
for the first time with Mother
तत्पश्चात
Rukmini.
सेमंतक मणि के प्रसंग में उनका
And
विवाह
in the pastime of
सत्यभामा के
Samantak
साथ
Mani,
हुआ।
he married two other
सत्यभामा
women, that is Satyabhama and Jamvanti,
सत्राजित की कन्या सत्यभामा के
the
साथ
daughter of Satrajit
और
Satyabhama,
जामवंत जी की कन्या
and
जामवंती
Jamvanji's
के साथ
daughter Jamvanti.
और फिर ब्रज की ही सखी
And then
कालिंदी के साथ
he married
उनकी 8 पुत्री
the
रानी हुई
friend
और फिर
or
16,000
eternal associate, that is Kalindi Devi.
अन्य
So he
रानियां।
had 8 prime
तो
wives and
कृष्ण का बहुत बड़ा परिवार
he
था।
had 16,108
कृष्ण की
wives.
एक पत्नी
So he
एक
had
एक
a
पत्नी के 10
huge family,
पुत्र और
and each
10 कन्या
wife had
और
10,
बहुत
10 sons
विस्तार
each and one daughter.
उनका द्वारिका में होता था।
And Krishna had a
लेकिन कृष्ण ने ये भी
large
सिखाया
family in Dwarika,
कि
but he
धरती
also
पर
taught
कृष्ण ने
that
सभी सिचुएशन को
while he was on
क्रिएट
this
किया,
earth,
प्रस्तुत किया।
he created all
कृष्ण
the
ने ये
situation,
भी
presented all the
ये भी
situation,
पाठ पढ़ाया
and he taught
कि केवल
us
फिजिकली भगवान
that
के साथ रहने से,
just by physically residing with the Lord, you cannot attain
किसी
everything.
महान व्यक्ति के साथ केवल शरीर से रहने से बात नहीं
If you
बनती।
just physically stay with a great personality,
महान
it will not
व्यक्तियों के
work.
साथ रहते
But
हुए
while residing with such person, we should have faith in
शिक्षा
them
के साथ साथ उनकी सेवा होनी चाहिए,
and we should try to
सेवा
serve
के साथ
them.
साथ
And
उनकी
along with
उपदेश
that,
और उनके उपदेशों का
we should
पालन करना चाहिए।
try to follow them,
कई
imbibe
बार
their
क्या होता है,
values.
कुछ लोग
Sometimes it so
पंडित होते
happens
हैं,
people
कुछ लोग
reside in a
अध्यात्म में
temple,
पुजारी होते
they
हैं, कुछ
perform
लोग गुरु और सन्यासी के साथ
DT service, etc. They
संगति
reside with
करते,
celibates and
सम्मान सत्कार
sadhus,
करते
etc.
हैं,
So while doing
और
all
फिर
this,
भी कहते हैं कि आप
they
तो बहुत
become
महान हो,
proudful,
हर
and
रविवार
people also appreciate that
आरती
you're great.
जाकर आरती
That
करते हो,
on every
ग्रेजुएट
Sunday
हो
you
जैसे,
venerate
और
the
फिर
deities at the
गुरु
altar,
महाराज के साथ रहते हो, थोड़ा वहां से
and
भी
you've resided with Guru Maharaj. So from there we get
थोड़ा
pride.
जिस व्यक्ति के साथ निरंतर रहते हैं,
And when we reside with someone constantly, then
शुरू हो
we
जाती है ये कलयुग का
see their
स्वभाव,
shortcomings and
माया का
faults
प्रभाव।
finding. So that is the
और फिर
potency of Kali Yuga and
महान
the
व्यक्ति
material energy of the Lord. And
जो
sometimes
ज्ञानी
in
हैं,
great
फिर उनके
personality
पास
also we lose their faith. We lose faith in them
जरूरत
and
नहीं
start
है
offending them. So
उसके
it's
साथ
not
रहने से
necessary that if we reside
तो
with
आप
someone,
बहुत महान हो गए,
then you will also
हर
become
व्यक्ति
great.
के साथ रहने से
If
हम
you
महान
reside
हो
with a
जाएंगे,
great
ऐसा जरूरी
personality,
नहीं है।
it's not necessary that we will also become
साथ
great.
रहकर
But
उसमें
while
श्रद्धा होनी
residing with
चाहिए,
such
सेवा
person, we
भाव
should have
होनी
faith.
चाहिए,
We should have an
उपदेश आदेश का पालन होना चाहिए।
attitude to serve them. We should
महान व्यक्तियों
try
के साथ
to
रहने से हम
follow
महान हो
them
जाते हैं।
and their
एक
instruction.
मच्छर भी किसी साधु के ऊपर बैठता है, तो क्या वो
So,
व्यक्ति
if
महान हो गया?
by just having an association of a great personality or a devotee,
So,
a
कृष्ण ने ये सिद्धांत
insect also can
ये तो
become great.
कृष्ण की ये लीला ही
So,
थी।
so this was a pastime of
और
Lord Shri
इसी कृष्ण
Krishna.
की 16,108
So,
पत्नी,
Krishna had
सभी का
16,100
10-10
wives,
नेत्र,
and all of them had
तो
10
16
sons each.
16 करोड़ जितना बड़ा संसार है।
So, he had a great
लेकिन
family
कृष्ण के उन
that
सारे
numbered in
संतानों
lakhs and
में
crores. And of all these
कोई
sons
कृष्ण
that
को समझ
Krishna
नहीं
begot,
पाए,
they couldn't
और
understand
गीता
the Lord Himself.
जो स्वयं भगवान है, सृष्टि के ईश्वर
Their
हैं,
own father, who is the Lord or the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, they couldn't understand His
भगवान श्री
glories.
कृष्ण सर्व ऐश्वर्य संपूर्ण है,
And the Lord
उनका
is all
नाम की कोई
opulent,
कमी नहीं,
and there was no dearth
लेकिन
of
कृष्ण
wealth.
कृष्ण के साथ
So the
24
sons
घंटे
of
हैं,
Krishna, who
लेकिन
used to
उनके
reside with
मन
Krishna
में
for 24 hours,
पैसे और पद का
yet
मद उत्पन्न हो गया।
they got pride
किसको?
towards their wealth and
कृष्ण के
opulence.
पुत्र को।
Whom? His sons.
और तब तो कृष्ण को कहना पड़ा ना,
And then Krishna had to
ब्रह्मा मेरा
say,
पुत्र है, शिव मेरा अंश है,
Brahma
लक्ष्मी
is
मेरी
my
पत्नी है,
son,
तो क्या हो
Shiva
गया?
is my part and parcel, and
ये
Lakshmi is
सब
my
मेरे
wife. How
अपने
does it matter?
कहलाते हैं,
They
लेकिन
all
फिर भी
are
मैं
addressed
इनके
as
सिवा
mine,
क्यों प्रेम नहीं करता
but
हूँ?
I don't love them
क्यों
as much
मुझ पे
as
श्रद्धा रखने
I
वाले,
love the one
मेरी
who
बात मानने वाले
have faith in me
भक्तों
and
से
who
प्रेम करता हूँ।
imbibe my
महिमा
values or
भक्तों की है,
instruction. So
महिमा
the
भक्तों
glories
की
are
है।
of a devotee of the Lord or the
हाँ,
people who have
भगवान के साथ
firm
रहना
faith
तो
in the
अच्छी
Lord.
बात है,
So it's
कृष्ण के
very
साथ
great to
रहना बहुत
reside
अच्छी बात है,
with
लेकिन
uh,
उनके साथ
with
रहकर
Krishna or spiritual master, but with
श्रद्धा,
while staying with them or residing with them,
भक्तिभाव,
we should have faith, we should
समर्पण,
serve them, we should have our complete surrender
अगर
towards
ये
them.
नहीं है
That is necessary. If
तो
it's
कभी
not
कभी
present,
हमारा
then
पतन हो सकता है।
even if we reside with them, we may
और द्वारिका में ये दृश्य
fall
देखा
down.
गया भक्तों,
And that is what was seen in Dwarika itself. Once,
द्वारिका के निकट
near to Dwarika, there was
जिसका
a
नाम है
place which is
पिंडारक,
addressed as Pindarak.
और उस पिंडारक क्षेत्र में
And in this
अनेक ऋषि
place,
मुनि आए थे,
great sages and saints have gathered, like Naradji,
वशिष्ठ,
Vishwamitra,
देवल,
Asit,
भौम्य,
Deval,
अनेक ऋषि मुनि
Bhaumya,
उस
etc.
द्वारिका के निकट पिंडारक क्षेत्र में आए। अब साधु संत आए हैं
So
तो उनकी सेवा
now
होनी
the
चाहिए,
sages and saints have arrived, so they
उनकी
should
कथा
be
भी
served.
सुननी चाहिए।
We should try to listen
लेकिन
to the
कृष्ण
pastimes
के
from
भक्तों
them.
को
But
क्या सूझी?
Krishna's sons,
साधु
were they
संतों से
thinking?
हास परिहास,
That they
उनका
started
हंसी मजाक उड़ाने के
joking
लिए
and kidding around them
उन्होंने एक प्लान
and
किया।
started making fun of them. So for that, they made
सामंता
a plan.
यदुवंश में एक
So in
पात्र है शिशुपाल,
Yaduvansh, there is
तो
one
जाम्ब का एक
personality, that is Sam, whose son was the friend of Krishna's son. So on the tummy of Samuk, they put a pillow and dressed him as a woman. And where in Pindarak the sages have gathered, they brought him there and said that he is a woman from our Dwarika ji, and please bless her, and please let us know what will be born from her womb. So sages and said, would a place. So this was just to make fun of these great sages and said, a person who has the pride of wealth and opulence tries to make fun of great sages and said, in our civilization or culture, they teach us to have faith and respect towards sages and saints. So we are talking about the children of Krishna himself. So to make fun of the sages, they have dressed a man as a woman and said that what will be begotten from her womb. So the sages are the knower of everything, omniscient, and they realize that in their pride of wealth and opulence, they are offending great sages and saints. So they cursed that whatever is born from her womb, it will become the reason of destruction of the whole Yadu clan. So whatever is born from his womb will destroy the whole Yadu clan or dynasty. And there was not a pillow, but a grinding stone or a mortar on his stomach. So previously we used to have a round stone to crush. So that was tied to his stomach. And they said that this will become the reason of destruction for Yadu dynasty. So when they were cursed in this manner, the kids became scared and they went to the king of Dwarika, that is Ugrasen, and discussed everything with him. And Ugrasen Maharaj was shaken. He said that the sages have cursed, so it cannot go futile. And if your father knows, he will scold you. So do one thing. You should take this and you should just crush it and make a powder of the same. So these Yadvanshis went and they made powder of this mussel. So it all went on the banks of the ocean. And the remaining part. So when we make the sweet of carrot, then and when we try to grate, then there is a leftover piece. So while they were destroying this, they got the last piece and they threw it away. So there was a fish that swallowed it, and the hunter named Zara caught this fish and got this stone from there, and he made a bow. And ultimately, when Krishna was only remaining, he attacked with this bow to at Krishna. So with all the powder of that grinding stone, it turned into a bamboo, and Krishna has already decided that it's time for me to leave this earth, and with my own hands, I need to destroy my Dwarika, and these sons should be killed. So, although they were not kids anymore, but Krishna and Balram, with the bamboo that was created by this grinding stones powder, they destroyed them all. And the whole Dwarika Nagari was made to drown. And all the sages and saints, because he protects the word of the sages and saints, and he said that this grinding stone will be the reason of the destruction of the Yadu dynasty. So, with this, the whole Yadu dynasty was destroyed, only Krishna was left. So, the or the grinding stone's piece that was in the arrow of this hunter, Krishna also left. So, the word of the sages and sages was protected, and the offsprings of Krishna were punished, and the world got this philosophy that while residing with a great personality, we should not become prideful. We should have faith, humility, and attitude to serve them. Otherwise, we have seen the fall down of such devotees as well. It's not that if we are with great personality, then we won't fall down. So there is always a risk factor. So this is the pastime. So under this, I have gone little far. In between, there is a event that occurred. So when the sages and saints cursed the Yadu dynasty, Krishna was not told, but he is omniscient. He's the supreme personality of Godhead. So he is aware of everything. And in Bhagavatam, it is mentioned that all the demigods, Brahma, Shiva, etc., all came and venerated and said that the work for which you have came, that all work has been performed. So now you can go back to your eternal abode. So the time was also opportune. Dwapar was being concluded. So the Lord had decided, and when he has taken this decision, then Krishna told this to Uddhavji. So he took Uddhavji to Prabhas. So there is a place called Prabhas near Dwarika. So in Gujarati is called as Prabhat Patan or Prabhas Kshetra. And Krishna's mood was different today. And for the first time, he has called Uddhavji to Prabhas. And he said, Uddhavji, I want to discuss something very important. And Uddhavji said that, please let me know. What is it? Krishna responded, I am going to leave this earth very soon. So by just listening this, Uddhavji was shattered. He was broken into many pieces, and Uddhav said that if you are leaving, as you are the Lord, nobody can stop you, you are independent, but you should take me also with you. I want to accompany you. As you all are aware, Uddhavji is the beloved friend of Krishnaji, and in upcoming days we will discuss about him in detail, and his pastimes of childhood are also very great. And since childhood he used to serve the Lord. And for your information, since childhood Uddhavji never used to eat before feeding the Lord. Uddhavji's mother and father, if they used to bring new clothes, he used to give them to Krishna, that you should wear them. Whatever Uddhavji got, he used to give to Krishna, offer to Krishna, and take it as a prasad. And what is the fruit of the same? What a person. So we will see and listen in upcoming days. So in essence, he was the most beloved friend of the Lord. So there are three types of friends. First is the friends of Braja, who are in the love of conjugal love, or the form of conjugal love, Madhurya. So in others are from Dwarika who are in mixed form. And the third is the one who is in total magnificence or Aishwarya Bhav. So we will try to understand him in detail every day. So Uddhava was distressed that Krishna is leaving, and he said that if you're leaving, then you should take me as well. His Krishna replied, "This world needs you, oh my Uddhav, so you need to stay back to teach love, knowledge. You should stay here." But he said that after separation with you, I won't be able to live. Krishna said, I agree that you cannot survive my separation, but at the same time, in separation, only one thing that can sustain my devotee is my pastime. So, oh my Uddhav, I will give you my pastime. So before I leave, oh Uddhav, before I left this material world, I leave this material world, I want to present to you Bhagavatam, and by giving you, I want to make you complete so that once I leave, people can learn principles of religiosity from you. So while leaving, the knowledge that he shared with Uddhavji, that is Uddhav Gita, which is the knowledge that he shared with Uddhavji. So it is not Uddhav Gita, that is something else. So when he went from Mathura, the Brahmar Gita, that is the song with Radharani. So this is Uddhav Gita, that is the inquisitiveness of Uddhavji, his questions, and the responses, beautiful responses of Lord Sri Krishna. So you can just imagine on the day Krishna was born, or the day he manifested, what was the first work that he do? Just let me know. So the first thing that he did was he counseled his parents in the prison of Kansa. He counseled Devaki and Vasudevji. So in the midst or the center of Mahabharata, he has given counsel to Arjuna, and now it is the last day of the Lord. So while he is leaving, what is he doing? He is counseling. But this is the last counsel of Lord Sri Krishna. That is the final knowledge. So whatever he wants to speak, this is my perspective. I could be wrong here. But when Krishna gave this knowledge to Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, in midst of the weapons coming from here and there, but when he was giving or sharing this knowledge, Uddhavji, he was in complete peace, and whatever was left of to tell to Arjuna was even revealed to Uddhavji. So all the experience of his whole life and what a living entity or a human requires, that all was shared by Krishna to Uddhavji. So what did he spoke? So in each subject there are thousands of hundreds of verses. So that is why I said that is Uddhav Gita has thousands of verses. So there is a there are so many subjects. So first and foremost, he told about the Bhagavad Dharma. Although this is not our subject, we will discuss this in detail some other time. After that, the special prayers or veneration by Uddhavji to Krishna, because Uddhavji also has quite great experience with Krishna. Then Krishna speaks the pastime of Avdut,
वाली कथा
uh,
कृष्ण ने उद्धव को सुनाई।
and the 24 spiritual masters of the Tatre was shared as well.
भगवान श्री कृष्ण ने उद्धव जी को
Then
बद्ध जीव क्या होता है
he told about the
नहीं आप
living entities who are bounded,
क्या है
and he taught about the bondage and what is liberation,
बंधन से मुक्त होने के लिए एक
and
तरीका है भक्ति।
to get relieved of this bondage there is only one way, that is bhakti. So what exactly is this bhakti or anulai devotional service?
फिर भगवान श्री कृष्ण ने उद्धव
After that,
भक्ति के साधन
Krishna told about the limbs of devotional service,
और आगे कृष्ण ने उद्धव को
and
कहा,
further
ये भक्ति जो है ना
Krishna told Uddhavji that this
तो किस प्रकार से भक्ति स्पर्शमणि है
devotional service is
ये भी
like
एक
a
subject है।
parasmani or a touchstone.
और
So that also is a subject,
उद्धव गीता के अंतर्गत ये सारी
and
बातें हैं।
all these things are discussed under Uddhav Gita. And further, what he said, he discussed about the karma,
भक्ति की चर्चा।
knowledge, and devotional service.
आगे भगवान श्री कृष्ण उद्धव को
Further,
सिद्धियों का वर्णन करते हैं।
he describes the
सिद्धि किसे कहते हैं?
siddhis or perfections and what are the types and what exactly are
फिर
those.
भगवान श्री कृष्ण उद्धव को
Further,
संत और परम संत कौन है?
he describes the sages and who is the
मतलब संतों में
topmost or
परम संत
foremost
कौन सा है?
sage or saint,
योग में परम योग कौन सा है?
and who is, what is the greatest yoga,
रस, दास्य
and
रस, वात्सल्य
of
रस,
all the mellows like Shantaras,
रस
Dasya,
परम रस कौन
that
सा
is
है?
servitorship or
So,
paternal
परम
affection,
संत,
etc., which is the
परम योग
greatest
और
of them
परम
all.
रस की चर्चा करते हैं।
So that also was discussed.
फिर भगवान श्री कृष्ण उद्धव को
Further,
एक सब्जेक्ट है
there is another
मानसिक
subject,
साधना।
that is Manasi
मानसिक
Sadhana.
साधना कैसे होती है?
So how
मतलब
that is performed,
करते हैं।
that is
फिर
also
भगवान
mentioned.
भक्ति
Then
दर्शन अपना दर्शन कराते हैं
the Lord
और फिर
gives his audience a darshan, and
भगवान
at
से
the end,
भाव और संबंध कैसा होना चाहिए
how and what should be our relationship with the Lord, that is described
श्री कृष्ण उद्धव जी से करते हैं।
by Lord Shri Krishna to Uddhav Ji. So in this manner,
गीता में
in this Uddhav
ये
Gita,
अनेक प्रकार के विषय पर
there are these many
कृष्ण चर्चा
topics
करते हैं।
in
हमें जिस
broad,
बात
and
की
these are being
चर्चा
discussed.
करनी है
So the main
उस उद्धव
topic of our discussion which is an
बृहद
extreme or deep
हमें जिस
knowledge,
कथा सुननी है
the topic that we are going to discuss is
वो है
the definition.
उद्धव जी ने कथा
So Uddhav Ji, while listening to the pastimes of the Lord,
ये ज्ञान लेते हुए कहा कि
while
प्रभु,
taking this knowledge from the Lord, he said, "Oh my Lord,
सद्गुरु की परिभाषा जानना चाहता हूँ
I want to know the definition of a few
जानना
things."
चाहता हूँ। ये बहुत अच्छा सब्जेक्ट है
So
आपको
this is a very beautiful subject. You will really enjoy this topic.
लगभग 35 डेफिनेशन उद्धव जी
Almost
पूछते हैं
35
का गणतरी
definition were asked by Uddhav Ji.
34 मतलब 30 से 35 के बीच में होगा
So almost like 30 to 35 would be there, so you can keep a
उद्धव जी
count.
ने 35 प्रश्न
But
पूछे
Uddhav Ji asked 35
Definition
questions
पूछी मतलब इसकी
just
definition क्या
for
है
asking
ज्ञान
definitions.
मतलब क्या ये मतलब क्या
So what is knowledge,
कृष्ण ने मतलब
etc.
बहुत सुंदर
And
इसका वर्णन किया
Krishna beautifully replied
आइए
them
अब
all.
उद्धव जी की जिज्ञासा
So
में मैं आपको लेकर चलूं श्रीमद्
let's
भागवत के
discuss
11
the
स्कंद के 19वें अध्याय
question
में
of Uddhav Ji. So the 11th canto and chapter, Uddhav Ji asks,
नियमो वारी कर्षणा कह शम कोदमः कृष्ण का तितिक्षा धृति प्रभो। अब आप नोट कीजिए, वो नंबर आप लोग नोट कीजिएगा क्या क्या
so
पूछा है।
you just jot down what all Uddhav Ji has asked.
ये तो अभी 4
So,
श्लोक में प्रश्न है
so in these 4 verses, the questions are asked by Uddhav Ji.
तो सबसे पहले
So first and
नियमों की
foremost,
डेफिनेशन क्या है
he asked the definition of yama.
यम यम का अर्थ होता है
So yama
अनुशासन,
means or implies
मतलब
regulation.
अ, यम का अर्थ होता है जो नहीं करना है,
Or whatever we should not
यम
do.
माने जो नहीं करना है. सो प्रभु यम
So,
कति
oh my
विधि
Lord,
प्रोक्तो,
yama iti
ये
vidhi
यम
prokto.
कितने प्रकार के, यम माने यमराज नहीं है,
So this yama doesn't imply Yamraj.
यम
How
मतलब
many types of
जीवन है,
yama are there? So what
जीवन में
we should
कुछ
not
करना है
do
कुछ
in
नहीं
this life.
करना है, ये तो
So
जानते
in
हैं.
this life we should
कई
do
बार
something and some things we should avoid or
ये
not do.
शराब नहीं पीनी होती तो भगवान ने बनाई
So
नहीं.
sometimes people say that if we were
ये
not
अनियंत्रित
supposed to get
चीजें हमको नहीं
intoxicated, then
करना
why
चाहिए,
did the
भगवान ने
Lord
बनाया
created them?
नहीं.
If we are not supposed to
भगवान
eat
ने
onion and
अमृत
garlic,
फिर
then
भी बनाया, वो भी
why
खाना
should
चाहिए.
we not eat? So
भगवान ने
the Lord
पानी
has also
बनाया,
created
जाड़वा खा जाओ.
stone.
हाँ?
Why don't you
बहुत
eat
कुछ
that as
बनाया
well?
इस दुनिया
So
में,
the
सब
Lord
है.
has created so many things. The world has
क्या
everything.
करना क्या नहीं
But
करना,
what we
कौन
should eat and what we should not do, what we should do and we should not do, we should have the wisdom for the same.
तो ये है ना.
So, oh my
कभी होता है ना,
devotees, sometimes
कभी
it
कोई
so
बहुत बड़ा आदमी
happens
होता है
there is an
और
important personality
अब उनसे
or
हमको
a
बहुत
person
सीखना होता है,
and we want to learn
हम
so
सीख
much
रहे
from
होते
them
हैं और फिर
and we
जब
are
जाने का
learning.
टाइम हो जाता है तो
And
हमको
when
बोलते हैं
it's time for
इसका
them
क्या
to leave,
करना है, इसका क्या
then
करना
we
है, ये
ask
बता
them,
दो, ये बता
what
दो, ये
should we
बता
do?
दो.
What should
तो अब कृष्ण
we
धरती
keep
को
on
छोड़
asking
रहे
questions?
हैं
So the
150
Lord is
ईश्वर
going to
लोगों में होके.
leave this earth.
आज
He has
कृष्ण का
completed
अंतिम दिन है,
128 and a half
इस
years, and
अंतिम
today
दिन
is
को
his
धरती
last
को घूम
day.
रहे होंगे.
And the
आप
question
सोच
that
लीजिए कि
Uddhavji is
कितनी
asking,
इंपॉर्टेंट बात
just
पूछेंगे.
imagine how
ये
important things
बहुत
he will be
मुश्किल
asking.
होगा, मुझे तो लगता है
So
इस
it
बात को
will be a
क्लियर करना,
checklist
क्योंकि आपके जाने के
that you
बाद
should clarify all this, because
मानव
after
बुद्धि
you
को
leave,
पता चले कि एक्चुअल
so
करना
that the
क्या है,
humans can realize
विश्व
what
की
exactly we are
डेफिनेशन क्या
supposed to
है.
do. So
तो
he
उद्धव
is
जी का ये
asking what is the
पहला प्रश्न,
definition. So
यम
this is a great
कति
question
विध
by
प्रोक्तो,
Uddhavji,
यम कितने हैं,
that how many types of
इसका आंसर भगवान
yama
कृष्ण
are
देंगे
there,
वो बाद में.
and Krishna will
कृष्ण ने
respond to
उत्तर
them.
देंगे
But first,
और फिर
let's
मैं आपको
jot down the
पूछूंगा,
question,
कृष्ण
and
नेक्स्ट
then we
आंसर
will
क्या
ask
है,
you,
फिर
what
मैं
is the
कृष्ण ने
next?
जो आंसर दिया वो दूंगा.
And then whatever answer he gave, we will discuss the same.
सो यम कति विध प्रोक्तो, कितनी ऐसी चीज है जो नहीं करनी चाहिए और कौन सी.
So how many things are there that we should not do, and which are
ऐसी
those?
चीज है जो
So Krishna
मनुष्य
says
को
there are
नहीं करनी
12
चाहिए.
things that we should not
कौन सी,
do.
वो बाद में
And what are
मैं
those?
आपको बताऊंगा.
I will
सो इस
share it
दुनिया में
with
मनुष्य के लिए
you
12
in the
यम
verse
है.
form. So
सांख्य
there are
शास्त्र में
12.
5 यम कहे,
In Sankhya Shastra, there are
परंतु
5,
कृष्ण ने उद्धव
but
को 12 यम किए. यम
Lord
माने
has
12
shared
चीज जो नहीं
12
करनी.
with Uddhava that we should not do.
दूसरा है
The
नियमो
second is
वारी कर्षण,
Niyamo Vari Karshana,
और वारी जीवन में उतारने लायक नियम
and
कौन से और कितने हैं.
the regulations that we should imbibe in
कौन
our
सी
life.
बात,
How many are
मतलब काम
those?
की बात. भगवान जा रहे हैं और जाते
So
ही
these are very important things. Before the Lord leaves,
क्या
Uddhavji is
नहीं करना,
asking them
कितना नहीं करना है, क्या नहीं करना है.
what
तो
we
कृष्ण आगे
should
कहेंगे
not do.
12 चीज नहीं
So he
करनी
said
है
that there are 12
और
things that we
कितने
should
नहीं
not
करना
do.
है. और करना क्या है प्रभु,
And
बोले
what should
12
we do?
चीज करनी है. क्या
He
क्या,
says
तो
12
कृष्ण
things that we
बोलेंगे
should
ये
do. And
करना
what
है.
are those? Then he will reveal what
ओके,
we should
अब
do.
डेफिनेशन में आ जाइए. अब
So
उनको
let's
डेफिनेशन
come to the
बोलेंगे क
definition.
शम. प्रभु
Kashamaha.
शम की डेफिनेशन क्या है.
So what is the definition
शम,
of Sham?
दुनिया में बहुत लोग बोलते हैं ना शम दम
So
तप शौच. शम,
people speak about Shama,
शम
Dama,
क्या
Shocha,
है.
etc. Shama implies
अपने मन को वश में करना,
to control
मन
our
कंट्रोल करना.
mind and
सो
heart.
वास्तविक मन का कंट्रोल क्या है.
So the
तो
original
प्रभु
control of
बताएंगे
mind
हमारा
and heart
मन
is
बहुत
what
कंट्रोल है, मन
people will
बहुत
say
शांत
that
है.
our heart is
एक्चुअल
pacified,
शम क्या
peace,
है,
at peace
एक्चुअली
and control.
मन का
But
कंट्रोल होना
what
क्या है,
exactly
शम
is
की
the
डेफिनेशन क्या है,
control
का
of
अर्थ क्या
mind?
है.
What is the
दूसरा
definition
क्वेश्चन है,
of
तीसरा
Shama?
क्वेश्चन है.
So this is the third question
सो
by
क्या है शम.
Uddhavji.
फिर आगे कहते हैं, श्लोक देख सकते हैं दूसरी
Further,
लाइन में,
you can see
दम.
in the second line, Ko Damaha.
दम माने शरीर का कंट्रोल, इंद्रिय संयम.
So Dama means the control
शरीर को
of
कंट्रोल
our
करना, मन को
senses
कंट्रोल
or
करना.
our body.
तो एक्चुअली दम क्या है,
So what
इंद्रियों
exactly
का
is
कंट्रोल
Dama?
क्या है.
What is the control
सो
of
कह
our
शम
senses?
को दम कृष्ण का
And ka titiksha, so that is
तितिक्षा, ये अगला
what is tolerance.
तितिक्षा, वास्तविक सहिष्णुता क्या है? हैं? आजकल कुछ माता माता कहती
So
है ना, मैं बहुत सहन करती हूँ।
sometimes mothers say that
उनकी
we
सहनशीलता की
tolerate
डेफिनेशन कुछ
a
और
lot.
है।
So what is it? Their definition is something
एक्चुअल
totally different.
सहनशीलता क्या है? हम
Actual
जिसको
tolerance is
सहनशीलता मानते हैं वो
what we
सहनशील है।
consider tolerance. Is it exactly tolerance?
एक एक वर्ड में
So
आंसर देंगे।
Krishna answers
फिर
in one
इसमें
word
थोड़ा
each.
सा डिटेल
So
में
we will
जाएंगे,
elaborate and
लेकिन ये
discuss
सिंपल
it in
आंसर
detail.
है ना, ओनली वन वर्ड। वो क्वेश्चन पेपर आता है ना कि एक
So
वर्ड में
as there
आंसर
is a question paper of one word answer,
जल्दी है कृष्ण
because Krishna is in a hurry to leave.
उद्धव जी पूछ रहे
So
हैं
while
तो
leaving,
वन वर्ड में
he
सबका आंसर देंगे।
answers a response in one word each.
नियम कितने? शम मतलब मन का कंट्रोल क्या है, इंद्रियों का कंट्रोल दम का तितिक्षा, सहनशीलता क्या है,
So what is tolerance
धृति,
and
धैर्य
dhruti?
किसे कहते हैं?
It is what is patience.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna,
Krishna
Hare
Krishna Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Ram,
Ram Hare Ram Ram Ram.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram,
आया?
Hare Ram.
आया?
Yes.
सो धृति ही धीरता क्या है? ओके, कितने
So
हुए?
dhruti, what is patience?
6 हुए मधुसूदन प्रभु, 6 हुए ना? हाँ 6 हुए। हाँ, इंजीनियर को ही पूछना ठीक है ना, वो लोग पढ़े लिखे ज्यादा होते हैं। ओके, अब आगे अगला प्रश्न, मतलब आगे
So the next question
किम
is
दानम,
Kim Danam.
दान क्या है?
What exactly
बताते
is
जाओ
charity?
कहते हैं। किम दानम, किम तपह,
Kim Tapaha, that is austerity. What exactly is
तो मैं बोल रहा हूँ
austerity?
इसमें एक्चुअल और ये वो नहीं होता, मतलब इसका तो 2 और 2 4, दैट्स इट। ये जैसे हिसाब है ना कि भाई 2
This
और 2
is
क्या होता है?
simple
4, मतलब 2
mathematics.
माने क्या? तो कृष्ण एक ही वर्ड में बोल देंगे ये
2
आपका
plus 2
हिसाब है।
implies 4. So in one word, Krishna will respond.
होना चाहिए।
And that is that what is the austerity, and we should do that.
क्या है? किम
So
तपः,
what is charity? What is austerity?
मतलब तपस्या की डेफिनेशन क्या है? शौर्यम किम,
Then Shauryam Kim, what is the bravery?
ओके, शौर्यम किम। फिर आगे कहते हैं किम
Then
सत्यम,
further he asks, Kim
सत्य क्या है?
Satyam,
कुछ लोग सत्य का
what
बड़ा डंका
is
बजाते
truth?
हैं, हम
Sometimes
सत्य
people
सत्यवादी सत्यवादी। सत्य
say
सच
that
क्या
very
है?
truthful, but what exactly is truth?
कस त्याग, कह त्याग,
Yes.
त्याग किसे कहते हैं?
What is
जो
detachment?
त्याग, त्याग किसे कहते हैं? माने त्याग को यहाँ पर वैराग्य भी ले सकते हैं।
So the tyag can also be referred to as detachment.
और वैराग्य क्या है? किम धनम, धन क्या है? धन
So,
किसे
and
कहते हैं?
what is wealth?
किम धनम, इष्टम कह। इस दुनिया में धनम के बाद चेष्टम है ना, चेष्टम, तो च इष्टम,
So after that it is ishtam, that is desire.
इच्छित वस्तु क्या है?
What are desirable things in
किसकी
this
इच्छा
world?
होनी चाहिए?
Or what should we desire?
कहते हैं। फिर आगे को यज्ञ,
Further he
यज्ञ क्या
asks,
है?
for yagya, that is
च
what
दक्षिणा,
exactly is the
दक्षिणा
fire sacrifice, and what is dakshina?
कितने हुए 2 श्लोक में? 5, 10 चलो जितने भी हुए बता देना बाद में। ओके, आगे कहते हैं
So further he says, punsam kim,
पुंसम किम स्वीत बलम, पुरुष
swid
का बल क्या है?
balam. What is the
पुरुष का पुंसम
energy of a human? What is the strength of humanity?
श्रीमन भगो लाभश्च केशवः
Shriman Bhago Labhascha Keshava.
माने
So
ऐश्वर्य
Bhag
क्या है?
means opulence. What exactly is opulence?
ऐश्वर्यवान किसे कहते हैं?
So who exactly is opulent? What is
फिर
opulence?
लाभश्च, लाभ क्या है?
And what is benefit
लाभ,
or profit?
एक्चुअल लाभ क्या है? सो पुंसः
Or what exactly is beneficial for us?
बल क्या है?
So what is the strength of humanity or humans?
श्रीमन
Then
भगो, ऐश्वर्य क्या है?
what is the opulence and
लाभ क्या है?
what is beneficial
विद्या क्या है?
and what is
विद्या किसे कहते हैं?
knowledge or education?
और उसके बाद एक अक्षर में है
And after that, in one word, it is mentioned Ni,
दीनता क्या है?
that is humility.
नम्रता किसे कहते हैं? किम सुखम,
Then Kim Sukham, what exactly is happiness?
दुखम
And
एवच, और दुख
Dukham Evacha, that is what is the
कितने हुए?
greatest distress. So how many have we finished? I don't know.
मेरे
But
पास नंबर नहीं, मेरे पास तो श्लोक होते हैं।
so I don't have numbers, but I have verses.
आंकड़ा है मुझे
So they will be around 30 to 33.
पूछे, ये सब आने वाले दिनों में ये सब उत्तर आएंगे।
So the answers will be there. So then there is a question, Kaha Pandita,
कौन है? आप
that who is
कहेंगे मैं पंडित, तो ये भी बता दीजिए ये कह पंडित, पंडित की
a
डेफिनेशन।
scholar. So please share the knowledge of a scholar. Then Kascha Murkha, who is a fool.
तो कोई किसी को भी मूर्ख कह देता है।
So everybody addresses each other as foolish. But please let us know who is a fool.
मूर्ख कौन है? कह पंथा।
Then Kaha Pantha.
मार्ग मतलब अच्छा मार्ग कौन सा? असली मार्ग क्या है?
So what is the
माने असली मार्ग
correct
क्या है?
path or original path?
गलत मार्ग भी बता दिया।
And what is the wrong path? So how beautifully Uddhavji has asked, what is the right path and what is the wrong path as well?
ताकि मनुष्य गलत मार्ग में जाने से
So that person can be saved from going on the wrong path. And then he asked, what is Swarga or heavenly planets?
कह नरक, नरक क्या है?
Then what is the hellish planet?
कह स्वीत। सो प्रभु नरक क्या है? फिर आगे कहते हैं बंधु।
Further he asks, Bandhu.
बंधु किसे कहते हैं?
What is a Bandhu?
बंधु कौन है? बंधु किसे कहते हैं? और मित्र, बंधु उत किम गृहम,
Bandhu Rut Kim Griham. That is, what is a home?
किसे कहते हैं?
How or what is the definition of a home? So Krishna will bring something.
वो नहीं कुछ नया कहेंगे।
It's not the house that we refer to as a house. He will bring something else.
अमित नारायण प्रभु बोलो तो कितना हुआ?
So how many have we covered so far?
वो ऐसे ऐसे पता नहीं चल रहा है, आप तो ऐसे ऐसे ऐसे, उसमें भी मैं गिन नहीं पा रहा हूँ। ओके। कह आड्य, आड्य माने
Kaha Adya,
धनी कौन है?
who is the most wealthiest of all?
अब जो अपने आप को धनी मानते हैं या हम
So those who consider that they are wealthy,
पास पैसे हैं वही धनी
so
है।
a person who has wealth, is that
कृष्ण की
a wealthy person? So in eyes of Krishna, who is wealthy?
किसको धनी मान,
That is what Uddhavji is asking the Lord.
को दरिद्र, दरिद्र कौन?
And then he asks, who is the most poor?
खुलने वाली है। सो क आड्य कौन धनी, को दरिद्र कौन दरिद्र, कह कृपण लोभी कौन है?
And who is the most greedy?
राम कौन है? सो कह कृपण और कह ईश्वर,
And Kaha Ishvara, that is controller, who is the one who controls everything.
ओके, इतने प्रश्न है।
So these are the questions that he has. At last, Uddhav ji concludes,
प्रश्ना मम ब्रूहि विपरीतांश्च सत्पते एतान् प्रश्नान् मम ब्रूहि विपरीतांश्च सत्पते। इस प्रकार से हे कृष्ण, मेरी ये प्रश्न है।
so in this manner he says that these are my questions. Please be merciful and reply.
ठीक है, प्रश्न नोट कर लिया।
So have you jotted down the questions?
अमित नारायण प्रभु, आपने नहीं गिना, चीटिंग
Now
कर
you
रहे हो।
should go.
मुझे धंधे
Yeah.
पे दिया, आप आराम कर रहे हो, अब गिनो। यम क्या है?
So what is yam? Then niyam,
क्या है?
then
क्या
shama,
है?
dhamma,
क्या है?
titiksha,
क्या है?
dhruti,
दान क्या है?
dan,
क्या है? शौर्य
tap,
क्या है?
shaurya,
सत्य क्या है?
satya,
रूत क्या है?
ruth,
शौच क्या है?
shauch,
संन्यास क्या है? धन
sannyas,
यज्ञ
wealth,
क्या है?
yagya,
दक्षिणा क्या है?
dakshina,
परम बल क्या है?
strength,
परम लाभ क्या है?
most
विद्या
beneficial, and education or science,
श्री क्या है?
shame,
सुख
shri,
क्या है?
sukh,
युक्त किसे कहते हैं?
that is happiness, and unhappiness, then
सही
scholar and a fool. What is the right
गलत कौन
path
सा है?
and what is the wrong
स्वर्ग किसे
path?
कहते हैं?
What is
नरक
heaven
किसे
and what is
कहते हैं?
hell?
बंधु कौन?
And who is a friend and what is our home?
धनी कौन? दरिद्र
Who
कौन?
is opulent and who is poor? Who is greedy
समर्थ कंट्रोलर कौन?
and who is the controller
समर्थ कौन?
and who is incapable?
एग्जैक्ट फिगर आ जाएगा।
So now we will get the exact figure.
अब एग्जैक्ट आ गया। कितने? 30। ओके, 30 हुए। 30 के ऊपर कितने हुए ये बताओ। 30 प्लस कितने हैं? 30 प्लस 5 6। ये भागवत है, इसमें किसी का सेम नहीं होगा। ओ
So,
35। ओके, 35।
so we have almost 35 points.
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। तो आइए आज हम श्री गणेश करते हैं।
So let's start.
की ये कथा है।
This is the Katha of 35 questions, and this is for 5 days.
गीता, जैसे मैंने आपको पहले
So
कहा,
in Uddhav Gita, which is a
उसके अंदर
very, very long, deep subject. Under that, there is a subject of the definitions of devotional service.
ये 35 पॉइंट है।
So these 35 points,
एक्चुअल डेफिनेशन क्या है?
the actual definition of them,
और कृष्ण से ऊपर तो कोई अथॉरिटी है नहीं।
and there is no other authority greater than the Lord
So कृष्ण ये
Krishna,
प्रश्नों के उत्तर
and he answers them
हम लोग समझने की
briefly, but to understand, we will try to elaborate a little.
कृष्ण बहुत स्वीट
But
स्वीट
Krishna has replied in a short and sweet manner. The first and foremost question is, what is yam, or the things that we should not do?
क्या नहीं करना है?
So
कृपया
what we should not do, please let us know.
सो भगवान श्री कृष्ण निवेदन करते हैं।
So the Lord requests or responds,
अहिंसा सत्य, अहिंसा सत्यमस्तेयम्, असंगो रीरसञ्चय, आस्तिक्यं ब्रह्मचर्यं च, मौनं स्थैर्यं क्षमा भयं, मौनं स्थैर्यं क्षमा भयं। सो 12 यम क्या है?
so what are the 12 things that we should not do are revealed by Lord Krishna. So in this one verse, he has covered these 12 points. Such a short answer.
कृष्ण ने कहा 12 यम है.
So he said that there are 12 things, regulations that we should
सबसे पहले क्या
follow.
है?
And the first is
हिंसा नहीं करनी है.
ahimsa, that is non-violence.
यम माने जो नहीं करना है.
So this is what we should not do, that is violence that we should not do in our life.
वन वर्ड में बताया.
So Krishna has spoken in one word,
का मानवी एक वर्ड में थोड़ी समझता है.
but can a human understand in one word?
क्या कहा?
So the first and foremost word he used is not to do is cruelty or violence. So we should be non-violent. So what is the meaning of ahimsa?
पहले तो किसी आदमी को नहीं मारना चाहिए.
It implies that we should not kill any human.
मतलब ये आतंकवादी जो बम फोड़ देते हैं,
The terrorist who
कहीं पर ब्लास्ट कर देते हैं,
blast
केवल यही
and terrorize, that is not violence, but
को मारना, नॉन
to kill
ये भी तो
a
हिंसा है.
bird or an animal also is violence.
के अंतर्गत ये सब कुछ आ जाएगा.
So everything comes under this violence.
में जो है ना, नो मेडिटेशन
So the four regulative principles, no meat eating,
कृष्ण ने क्लियर कर दिया.
has been clarified by Krishna
तो 12
in the very beginning.
करनी है, उनमें से
So the 12 things that we are not supposed to do, first and foremost, is ahimsa or violence.
अहिंसा.
So that is why it is called non-violence. Then second is satya.
सत्य नहीं बोलना है.
That is, we should be truthful or we should not lie.
सत्य नहीं बोलना है, मतलब सत्य भाषण करना है.
So we should always speak the truth.
असत्य नहीं बोलना.
So we should not be non-violent, we should be truthful.
स्ते माने चोरी.
And same, that is, we should not steal. So what is stealing? So please understand. These days, thieves don't consider themselves to be a thief. They said this is our karma to steal or rob. So what is the definition of thievery? So to take anything from a person without asking them and making or acting as if it's ours, that is robbery or a theft. So if something belongs to someone else and without their permission, if we use it for ourselves, that is thief. So we are not thieves. We all have faith in the nectar. But if we go further into detail, then in this world, all the opulence and things are created by whom or belong to whom. So everything belongs or has manifested from the Lord. So when everything has manifested from the Lord, then in this world, if we want to enjoy anything, then should we not take His permission? Should we not offer it to the Lord? And if we are not doing it, then who are we? We are thieves, and we will be punished by Yamraj. So as you all are intelligent, so I am just telling in short. So we should be non-violent. We should be truthful. And the third is we should not rob. And the fourth point is asango. That implies we should not be attached. So the fourth is that we should not attach ourselves. So these are the things that Krishna says that we should not do. And we need to practice them all. And in the home, we should not invest ourselves so much in the home and family that we become attached. Because once we get attached, then we will be distressed. If you spend so much time on something and you have used money on something, and this world is temporary, so one thing, this thing will get destroyed. the time we have invested or the wealth that we have invested, we are going to lose it. So at that time, we will be in so much pain if we have attachment in that. So this attachment becomes a reason of pain and distress. Therefore, Krishna says the fourth thing that we should not do is attachment. We should ask ourselves, is or am I attached to anything in this world? And if we realize that we are getting attached to something, then we should stop giving time to them. Otherwise, that thing will create misery in our life.
So चौथी वस्तु है अटैच नहीं होना है. पांचवी वस्तु जो
So the fifth is
कहते हैं
that Krishna says,
आस्तिक्यम, लज्जा. लज्जा का विपरीत क्या होता है? निर्लज्ज
so
नहीं होना है.
lajja means shame
जो निर्लज्जता
and
को त्याग देना है.
shameless. So we should not be shameless.
निर्लज्जता को त्याग देना है. फिर
Then
ब्रह्मचर्य, हमें
brahmacharya.
व्रत का पालन करना है.
So we should
कहा जाए तो
follow the path of celibacy.
सो हमें ब्रह्मचर्य व्रत का पालन करना चाहिए. फिर आगे कहते हैं
Further, it is said,
क्या त्यागना?
maunam.
संसार की फिजूल
So what are we supposed to let go?
को त्याग देना है.
So we should not talk unnecessarily about the material things
ये नहीं
in
कि
this world.
चुपचाप हो जाना है.
So mourn doesn't mean that we should be mute,
का कोई मतलब नहीं होता.
but mourn means the whatever things that are meaningless,
कृष्ण नाम
which are not related to
अन्य बातों
the pastimes names of the Lord, these should be let
दसवीं है
go. These should be
स्थिरता.
forgone.
अस्थिरता को
And the
त्याग
third,
देना चाहिए.
then we should
जीवन में
get rid
स्थिरता
of
चाहिए. सो त्यागना.
astherim. So we should be
फिर 11वीं चीज है
stable.
बदला लेने की
Then
भावना.
11th is the intention to take revenge
की भावना को
or
त्याग देना
avenge.
है.
So we should let go of this feeling to avenge others. We should not
कहोगे तो हमारे साथ
seek revenge from anyone.
करता है
So
उसका
if you say that if someone misbehaves with us, what shall we do? So if someone has misbehaved with us,
सबसे पहला पॉइंट
then
हमारा कर्म है.
first and foremost, it is our karma.
में लिखा था
And it was in my
किया.
fortune. That is why I was
आपको लगता है कि नहीं मेरे
mistreated.
कर्म से बाहर
And
जाकर किया,
if someone says that
मुझे
it was beyond my karma and I should
भगवान के ऊपर
seek or avenge,
जो बदला लेना है.
then we should leave it on the Lord.
सो कृष्ण 11वीं चीज कहती है बदला लेने की भावना को त्याग देना.
So the 11th thing he says that to let go is to
भय त्याग देना.
the avenge or revenge. And the 12th is
जीवन
bhai or fear. So we should not be scared.
ओके.
We should let go of the fear.
वस्तु यम
So these are the 12 things that we need to let go. That is
बोलना त्याग
violence.
देना है.
Second is
चोरी
lie.
त्यागना है.
Third is robbing.
त्यागनी है.
Then attachment.
निर्लज्जता को त्यागना.
Then shamelessness.
छठा है
And the sixth is
संचय. माने जो हम संग्रह करने की
the
भावना है उसे त्याग देना.
attitude to gather or accumulate things. We should let go of that. The seventh is
आस्तिकता.
astikta.
ब्रह्मचर्य व्रत का पालन करना है.
That is, we should follow the life of a celibate.
आठवां है
Then eighth is
फिजूल की बातें करने को त्याग देना है.
we should let go of unnecessary talk.
को त्याग देना है.
Then we should let go of the temporariness
त्याग देनी है.
and the feeling of avenging others or taking revenge
बीच में एक
and fear.
छूट गई.
And one thing that is left in between is sanchay,
करने की जो भावना है
the habit of accumulating. That also should be
उद्धव जी का ये प्रश्न है
forgone.
कि यम क्या है.
So the first question, what is yama? What are the 12 things that we should let go? So these are discussed in one verse by Lord Shri Krishna.
अब दूसरा प्रश्न होगा
So the second question is,
कितनी चीज है.
what are the things that we should do? Krishna says 12. And what are those?
वस्तु है उसे नियम कहते हैं.
So the things that we should do is regulatory principles, and that will be revealed tomorrow. So today we gave an introduction and we understood in what situation this all conversation started. We will listen to this in great detail. So you all have been listening with so much patience and love. I'm really grateful to all of you, especially the Patel family, Sri Rajrishi Prabhu and his whole family, with who have organized this katha with so much heart and love, and given us an opportunity to understand this special Gita. So I'm really thankful to all of you. So let's conclude the today's session of the first day of Srimad Bhagavatam.
भागवतम महापुराण की, श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की।